to the Cinementalists. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George. Hello everybody and welcome in to the Cinementalists. Today is part 5 of our top 100 of the 2020s. Today is the 50s, 59 through 50. We're going to work our way up through the list. We've already done 4 parts. We've done 40 fucking movies. You got to go check out all those parts there. There's a ton of them. You'll have a lot of fun. But we're going to have even more fun. This is where things get real fucking difficult. I deliberated and deliberated and deliberated with myself. But, yeah, I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And I know you're feeling the same way I am.
Yep. It's, this is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets a little spicy. It's, I don't know. Not necessarily the creme de la crop, obviously, quite yet. But, it just gets difficult to put one movie over another or to confidently claim, yes, I do like this movie more.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre. These next few parts, you know, the 50s and 40s, maybe even a little bit of the 30s. Like, I know the top of my list. You know what I'm saying? That's not tough, you know? Like, maybe ordering them a little bit gets tough, but it's like, okay, well, this is top 10. Maybe you got like 1 or 2 stragglers just outside the top 10 where you're like, ah, man, wish that was there. It's not, but I wish it was. And then the bottom of my list, it's the bottom of my list, you know? I'm like, yep, those are the ones that go at the bottom of this list. This middle chunk, man, I love about 35 movies here on a extremely similar level. You know, this gets quite difficult. So I'm real ready to dive on in here. But
oh man, yeah, I guess. I mean, one thing I have realized, and I think we have probably brought this up before, is that it's quite the living document that this is. It's like if one rewatch of any of these movies, that movie's probably going to move. It's probably not going to stay exactly where it is.
It's not likely. I gave a rewatch last night to a movie that was going to be in this episode, and now you will not be hearing about it on this episode. Or the part 6 that is also coming out today. You won't be hearing about it on either. So it went up. It went up quite a bit. It unfortunately did move one into this episode range that I wanted to rewatch, and I didn't think about that. If it moved up enough, one of the ones I wanted to get around to would all of a sudden be in this episode. So that sucks. But it is what it is. If you are ready, we can take it on in with 59. What is your 59th favorite film of the 2020s?
Well, one, it was an actress spotlight, if you will, and Anya Taylor-Joy. One I wanted to get around to but didn't. This is Emma, 2020 here, and I remember. I wanted to get around to it because I remembered some things. I obviously remember Anya Taylor-Joy. I remember Josh O'Connor. He was kind of a little creep. You know, not quite the character
a weirdo. He was a weirdo.
Kinda, you know, but that's fine. You know, he's doing his thing. But
doing his thing.
I remember it was beautiful. Like the visuals were great. The time period, anything usually just in this time period, and these costumes or outfits look amazing. But I couldn't. Right. I don't know. I couldn't remember why I loved this movie more than that. After that, and that's kind of why it came down like kind of at the lowest of this. This is like I feel like I have entered a new tier of movies here, and this is it kind of just found its way of like at the bottom of this tier of movies, and I just don't know. I couldn't remember. I remember after the spotlight, and I looked at the rankings that we gave, very, very high. I think like a 9 or 9.5 is what we came to for here. You know, we're very loving critics.
We are.
But yeah, I don't know. I just couldn't quite remember any other reason other than just we were having a great spotlight, you know, and it was visually great. And it's been a while since I've seen it, and so yeah, it's kind of why it did come down here.
I
At
get you. I
59,
do
but
think momentum is important with the spotlight movies. You know, like we're feeling it, we're having fun. You know, this came on the coattails of I think it came on the coattails of one movie, and then before Last Night in Soho. Can't remember what came before it though. Oh, maybe it was the first. I think we kicked off with this, so it was
it might have
exciting.
been
Like it
the
was
first.
because it was
Yeah.
this Last Night in Soho, The Menu, and then Furiosa, if I remember correctly, for the Anya Taylor-Joy spotlight. So it might have been first, and we were coming off of the Dev Patel spotlight where we started slow and built up, and I think that starting with a movie as good as that was exciting. But yeah, no, I'm in a similar spot, but I do have it. I do have Emma in my top 100, and we will eventually get to it. So
Okay.
it's a good one, good pull. But my 59 is a movie that just came out in theaters last month. This is where I have Baby Girl, starring Nicole Kidman and Harris Dickinson. I thought this movie was. It was much more than I expected. You know, I was expecting kind of and you know, Nicole Kidman's pretty picky. She's not going to just do something to do something, you know. So like there obviously was going to be more, but the trailer did indicate a certain smuttiness about it.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, cool, sexy movie. Let's ride. Let's do this shit, you know? And it certainly is, but there's a lot more to it than that. It's kind of this crossroads of where sexual fantasy and real world power dynamics intersect, and how it's kind of funny how simple the story is and how complicated it seems. It's a rare one because I mean, like, it's gorgeous. The performances are brilliant. It's tense. It's hot. There's a lot going on here, and all of it, most of it, is very, very good. So I really fuck with Baby Girl. I think it's a great movie, and I think I think Nicole Kidman is deserving of some sort of I don't know, a little bit more awards treatment than she's been treated to. And obviously there's a lot more good movies. So hard to be like, well, I think she should get awards when there's like a ton of awards worthy performances. So like, you know, who am I to say? But yeah, Helena Rain, I believe is how you pronounced the director's name, and she did an incredible job. So yeah, Baby Girl, big fan at 59.
Every time that you go to the theater now, do you see Nicole Kidman a little differently? You know, whenever like we come to this place for magic, you know, is that
I saw actually no, but the most recent time that we did go the other night, it reminded me of a great review for Baby Girl that I saw, which was it was like a long, thoughtful review, and then it was like and in the words of Nicole Kidman, quote, "We come." And that was it.
This
like
is
we
true.
we come to this place for magic. We come.
She,
That's
she
that's
does
all.
say this.
Yep. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
and I was like, that's perfect. So now every time I'll hear her say "we come," I'll think of that. But yeah, no, she's an
man.
incredible actress, man. She's one of the best working and one of the most. She takes on really, really interesting jobs really consistently. I wish she did a little bit more. I'm just not a big miniseries guy. I don't love the phenomenon on any streaming platform where it's like, instead of a movie, we're gonna make this 8 episodes or 6 episodes, and it's going to be overextended and way too long, and that's gonna be that. She does a lot. She's done a few of those, and as a movie star, it's a few too many. You know, like I'd rather those were movies and that she did those. But you know, it is what it is. She makes really interesting choices anyway. That's more just my problem with the format, not strictly the one she's in, you know. So like, yeah, it is what it is. But, yeah, Baby Girl at 59.
Okay. Well, moving on here, kind of still in the same sexual-ish, how it can, might control life, and a weirder one, I think, here, than Baby Girl. This is where I have May December, with Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore, and I don't know, very. This one was definitely weird, and it was like I didn't even quite get what was going on at first. I remember when I was watching, I had the wrong read completely, and I forget what my read was at the beginning.
I think your read was that Charles Melton's character was a fucking psychopath.
I thought some of them were, like a serial killer. I thought something was gonna go, like, I don't know, very wrong. Very, very wrong here. But I don't know. I love me some Natalie Portman, and she gets to do some like kind of meta acting in this one.
Yeah, being like, an actor who is yeah.
And so that I don't know that was cool. Kind of a very definitely just weird story in general, but a really like for a movie. Like I think that's why like it's a movie at the end of the day. Like this wasn't based on a true story, was it?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so, but like that's kind of like, I don't know. The point of movies is that you can go weird. You can go here, and I guess who knows? Maybe this has happened or some similar thing in real life, but I don't think so. But just not serial killer. Definitely not the vibe of the movie. That's for sure. But I remember once that clicked, and once that was like, oh, okay, this is the movie that I'm watching.
This boy's been groomed.
Yes, and he's just stuck forever. And then like kind of the balance of back and forth of like, okay, well, yeah, she's doing a really good job of acting, but like, should she really be acting in, or like, should this like even be I don't know, like to get into this role is so weird, like into, I don't know. It was icky and weird, but I don't know.
Yeah, and then spoilers for the ending here, like, and then like the final product, like watching her act in it and it being just schlocky shit that she was concerned about it being, like, it's good stuff. I love that movie. So another one here that we will be getting around to again. You've already hit a couple that I have higher this episode. This might be officially the threshold where that shifts.
Okay. Yeah.
As you've hit two in a row now that I'll have higher than you do. But my 58 is American Fiction, directed by Cord Jefferson, starring Jeffrey Wright. Love this movie. Love this movie dearly. Got to catch it in theaters early last year. It's Jeffrey Wright, man. He's fucking incredible. This got him a well-earned Oscar nomination. I got Sterling K. Brown a well-earned Oscar nomination. It's an incredible film, and it won Best Adapted Screenplay, which I agree with wholeheartedly. There was something that we talked about recently where we spoke on, oh shit, what was it? Oh, it was for our If Beale Street Could Talk episode here in a couple weeks. When it comes to like my favorite adaptations of stuff, this isn't far outside my favorites, the best of the best when it comes to those. Like I do have a different tier with my top tier, but this is based off Erasure by Percival Everett, which is another great book, and it adapts the material so incredibly well. And just fits it for the screen, It's really, really impressive. So, and obviously we love Jeffrey Wright, so I had to give him some love here. And I've got American Fiction, 58.
Oh yeah, I think we're running in these because I have it a little bit higher, not quite this episode, and so I don't know, maybe we'll be trading some back and forth here for a little bit of I don't know. This is, I think, where it will get very common to have some similarities.
We're gonna have some overlap in the 50s, 40s, 30s sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, from here on out we will, but
that's true. Yeah, I guess fair. I mean, there's only the top tier of the.
There's
20s,
some good fucking movies, man, and we know what they are, So
okay, but wow, yeah, we'll get. I guess next week we'll get back to it.
Beautiful
for me, but yeah, okay. Love me some Jeffrey Wright. Yeah, I can never get enough. But all right, moving on. We got 57. This is where I have The House of Gucci. Or just House of Gucci. No, good old Adam Driver and Lady Gaga. This one, it was. I think I even
Lady
caught this in the
Gaga.
theater. Yeah, I think I even caught this in the theater. Actually, is that right? I think so. I don't know why I have this feeling, but I think it was in the theater. And then a couple I think I watched it once or twice out of the theater. With the family back at
Yeah.
home. I know I watched it at home. Good. I don't know. Good family movie. I feel like here. This is just kind of in that vein. But also I don't know. I did just
Good
had
family
no
movie
idea.
for a family whose family is mostly grown-ups, right?
Yeah, I guess true. There is some. Oh no, not a good family movie. Wait, was this watched with? Maybe now. No, I think that. Okay, no.
I was going to
I'm-
second guess you pretty quickly on that.
Yeah,
I've never
no, there's
seen it, so
there's
I can't.
some
But I
sexy
know
sex.
I know it's a rated R movie by Ridley Scott, which typically
Mm-hmm.
aren't family movies.
I guess there's really only one moment that would make me feel uncomfortable watching with my family.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's for sure. But really,
Well,
it was,
I think
it
it's
was,
important. I think the connotation of family movie usually indicates that you
that's
can watch
true.
it with your children, which is
Yes.
probably not the case here.
Not
Like
family-
watching
yeah,
anything
my
with your
family.
parents is fine, like But yeah, no, that's
very
that's-
important. Yes,
very important. Don't
disclaimer
if you
there.
are listening and you're like, oh, House of Gucci, cool. Me
family
and my
movie.
8-year-old should watch this later. Probably not the right.
No.
idea.
Yeah, no. Yeah, definitely not what I was going with there. My current family,
Yes,
in the age
yes.
that I am, that's definitely. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
No
there.
problem. No problem.
But but yeah, no, it was a kind of a story that I didn't have any clue about, of just kind of the fashion game, and just I don't know, never a sect of life I didn't really ever think about. And
Yeah.
and I think there was obviously some stuff that was dramatized here.
Oh, it's Ridley
but,
Scott. There's certainly things
so-
that are dramatized here.
But it was I don't know, Adam Driver and Lady, they had some chemistry, that's for sure. On here. And that's right, Al Pacino was.
I was
going to
say, isn't Al Pacino in that
Yeah.
movie? I'm like,
Man,
Jared
I
Leto
forgot.
said he like
Yes.
bled Alfredo for it or whatever.
Yeah, he played Jared Leto had so much on him, like it didn't
His
even
prosthetics.
look like him. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like an older guy, and yeah, that was crazy. I don't really like Jared Leto a whole lot, but as
don't
for that
either at all.
movie, I don't know. He was like in there when he's playing a character. It was
He
fine when I
disappeared.
couldn't see
He
his
disappeared.
Yeah,
That's nice.
when I couldn't see his face, I guess it was nice.
He's got one of
and
those
then-
faces. I just want to pah.
God, I know.
Just
The
wanna pah!
fucking leading Tron. Like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on? But
Yeah.
but no, House of Gucci. He's definitely down the low. Very very. He's in very brief. And you get to appreciate Lady Gaga and Adam Driver the whole time. And
That's good. They're
and just-
good.
yeah,
I love
the-
them.
yeah, nice. Just crime, or just I don't know, family story that just a lot of betrayal, a lot of backstabbing, a lot of
Yeah.
money, greed, a lot of-
Conniving. I love that shit. I love
all
that,
that,
shit.
but,
I wonder how
yeah.
many you've got left on your list that are blind spots for me. That's always a fun little tidbit, because I'm like, there can't be many. I can't imagine. But yeah, House of Gucci rising up this high. I'm impressed. I've never watched it, and I've always heard good things. And I'm a big Ridley Scott guy, so he's just so prolific. He makes so many movies that he's like a once a year basis at least. And then in 2021, House of Gucci came out the same year as The Last Duel. That was
Damn.
he did 2 that year. And obviously you're coming off COVID release dates and everything. I'm sure those were supposed to be 2020 and 2021 with delays and shit. But regardless, still incredibly impressive. But
Wow.
all right, House of Gucci 57. I've got quite the epic at my 57. One that I've only watched once. And if I'd watched
no
it
way.
again, I'm sure it would rise up the list. I know it would, but there's something to be said for the fact that I have little to no desire to rewatch it again.
Okay.
And I haven't for a couple years. This is where I have Avatar: The Way of the Water.
Okay. Yeah.
I remember thoroughly loving this movie. Like when I watched it the first time, it's gorgeous to look at. It's a beautiful work of visual effects marvel, just unbelievably good looking. really well performed. I love Zoe Saldana. She is so good as Neytiri. Sam Worthington's never better than when he's playing Jake Sully. He's just good at that. Let's get it done. Fucking love that. That's cold. There's a lot of really, really interesting world building going on here. I'm super excited for Fire and Ash, the third one. And, I think the only reason I don't come back to this is that it's 3 hours and some change. I'm not I mean, like, the first one, again, is objectively well done, but it's not for me. The second one is a lot more for me, you know, like I can vibe with this one a lot more. And again, I think the only reason it's this low is that I haven't watched it in a couple years, and I've never even given it another chance. And even so, I have a list on my letterbox that's called 4.5s that I think could be 5s if I watched them again. And this has been in that list for a very long time. One of the ones that I watched last night that bumped out of this episode was in that list for a long time too. You know, so that's a good frame of reference, like just watching it at a certain time, because the 2022 Best Picture nominees are the first time that I was like, I'm going to watch all of the Best Picture nominees. I was like, that's my goal this year. I want to watch all the Best Picture nominees, and after the nominations came out and everything, I was like, I'm going to watch all of them. So I overloaded on some great fucking movies really fast. Prior to my being a really as adept a movie watcher as I am now, I would say, you know? So I think that they're like the one I watched last night, same year and everything. It didn't hit for me the way that it did now. I think that this would be the same story. So Avatar: Way of the Water, just one I didn't get around to a rewatch, but if I had, it'd probably be a lot higher. But yeah, for now, it's at 57. The living document breathes here, you know?
That's true. Yeah, I got it. I do have it a little bit later for me, and I'm kind of in the same boat with you though. I haven't. It is just that one watch. I haven't had that urgency or kind of urge to go back and revisit it. But yeah, I mean, I bet if I do, I'd be like, damn, no, yeah, this movie is
it's good.
Like
man.
it's just,
and it is so well done, man. Like it really is. And there's some incredible members of the cast. I mean, we got Sigourney Weaver playing a child, which rules. Not even sure how that's possible, but you know, that's what James Cameron does. I'm just I love the family dynamic they build up. It's really, really strong. And the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, you know what? I will probably be rewatching this much sooner than later. Avatar: Way of the Water at 57.
Okay, moving on. 56. I think you've seen this. I'm pretty sure, but this would be the last one that I think would be a possible blind spot, but I'm pretty sure you have. But this is where I have Creed 3.
I have seen.
Good old.
Yeah.
Okay, then I think every single movie from here on out you have seen. I don't think there is a single one that you haven't. I'm pretty certain on that.
Sick.
So yeah, that definitely no more blind spots. But here, I don't know, good old Michael B. Jordan. Saw this one in theaters with I feel like I've seen every Creed in the theaters with at least my father and my brother, but sometimes the uncles would join in. This was kind of a family tradition when they all came out. Yeah, and so just had to catch the next Creed movie. Good old, Jonathan Majors before his whole debacle and everything like that. So I was
Jonathan Majors amidst what was looking like one of the fucking quickest and best rises in Hollywood in a long fucking time. Yeah, dude was on a fucking tear at this time.
I was a fan. I was a big fan of the dude.
I was too.
Like Kang, I was huge into Marvel. He was like the main dude over there, and I'm like, holy shit, yeah, this dude's just taking over. And he had the chops, he could just act pretty damn well.
Yeah, man. But real shame.
Yeah, but we still have Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson.
He rocks.
I mean, they've been the constants throughout all the Creed movies, and these. they always get me out of the I'm pumped. I always think, yes, I'm gonna train now for whatever reason, you know.
I am going to be a golden god. Yeah, no, I get you. I summon the very fact that I am a man. Yeah, no,
Yes.
I get it. I get it.
The testosterone flows, you know, after coming out of a Creed viewing. It feels like, yeah, and it's just like I have to get a punching bag or one of the speed bags, and yeah, the music, come on, yeah, it's like,
yeah, no, man, it fucking kills me. I also got to see this in theater. It's not in my top 100. This was Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut. Which rules. And he showed that he's got some fucking chops. Certainly won't be the last thing he directs. I dug this quite a bit, and obviously we got Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan teaming up again to do Sinners here here in a couple months, and they did the first Creed together. So I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, man, the Creed movies are special, and Creed 3, it was a pleasant surprise to see that MBJ could do that behind the camera. Yeah, love it. Big fan of Creed 3. That's a good pull there.
Yeah, 56.
56. My 56 is a film called Another Round, directed by Thomas Vinterberg. This is from 2020 as well. It's got Mads Mikkelsen in the lead. This is one, again, so far I've got, and actually all of this episode except one movie I've watched once. There's no movie that I've seen more than once here besides a single one. And it's towards the very fucking top. Another Round is one that I've only seen once, and again, if I'd watched it more recently, it almost certainly would have risen. It's a premise that I think I've told you about, and I've told a lot of people about. I recommend this movie often. It's a good first foreign film, you know? If you're going to introduce somebody, like if you're trying to ease somebody into foreign movies, I don't know, it feels like a good choice just because the story feels a little universal in a weird way. You know, it doesn't feel regionally specific or anything. It's just kind of like, yeah, this is just a story that I feel like anybody could get with, just in a different language. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, the premise is that Mads Mikkelsen is a teacher, and his life is, you know, it's a little on the dull side. His students don't like him. He's having marital issues. There's a bunch of, it's just kind of meh, you know. There's nothing really going his way. And all of his boys, all of his co-teachers, everybody all his faculty, his, you know, co-workers, they all agree. They're all kind of like, yeah, I get it, man. Shit's tough. You know, some of them have more confidence than others. It's a good control group, you know. They're all different walks of life, different tastes, different styles, different everything. They conduct an experiment, which is to see if a certain degree of alcohol intake makes their life better on a day-to-day, and just at work.
Oh.
Just at work. They drink while they are working to see if it makes their lives better, to see if it makes them better at teaching, to see if it makes them worse at teaching. And it has, again, a varying degree of effect on all of them. Some of them ruin their fucking lives. Some of them end up thriving more than they ever have. And it's just a really, really funny and sometimes darkly so movie. It's exceedingly good though, and it's one that I need to revisit real bad. But yeah, Another Round, great movie.
Okay, well, I had quite the flip-flop here where you have the testosterone booming after 56, 55 is quite the opposite. This is where I have Barbie. For the women here. The
boys.
This I guess, you know, Ken's had their moment, but no, this one's for the girls. And what, I don't know, just the moment that this was, like, just the cultural impact that this had. I don't know, it was just awesome to be there at the theater. I don't know, and just just witness with everybody for the first. I don't know. I feel like there were some people that did. This wasn't their first viewing of the movie. I think there were some reactions before things happened. For a couple people, but no, it was just a fun movie throughout the whole time, and then the end to actually get like a little serious there, and like actually like make you cry. You heard some sniffles all around, and but no, I love all of the movie references that are thrown in there randomly, and just
You've
starting
never
off
seen
with,
The Godfather?
is that,
This is The Godfather?
oh
Yeah.
yes, that's right. I was thinking of the even the opening with the 2001 just homage.
Oh, yeah,
kind
true.
of at the beginning there. I don't know if it was in the movie, but at least the poster that I have for Letterboxd has always been the Truman Show. I can't remember if that actually. I don't know if the Truman Show.
No, it's not in the
if
movie.
anything ever popped up there, but I don't know. It's just been my Letterboxd poster.
Yeah.
But man, no, I don't know. This one, Margot Robbie can never. I don't know. She's just
She
kind
rules.
of. Yeah, she'll kind of. I feel like she's the closest. I don't know. No one can ever embody Marilyn. I don't think ever, and kind of have that fame. But like, if there is anyone in Hollywood right now, I feel like she's just the most well-known actress. I don't know. Out of like at least me, just out of my age growing up, everyone was just obsessed with Margot Robbie.
Yeah. Wolf of Wall Street really changed the game.
Yeah.
And then Barbie obviously cemented her in a certain tier that it's hard to say any other actress alive besides like maybe Scarlett Johansson has reached.
Ooh, yeah.
And that's because of Marvel movies,
Yeah, she's got Babylon. That'll be later on. Coming up here
same.
for her.
But
she's man.
I love that movie, and I love Margot Robbie, man. I think that there's a lot to love about Barbie. I'm glad you have it this high.
I need a full musical, like just not be not a company put it on. I just need Greta to get out there and I don't know, just make any musical out there.
Please do it. I would love that. She would dominate a musical, man. And I would love I love Margot. I love the comparison you made both Margot Robbie and Marilyn Monroe. You're not the first person to make that connection. There's a whole sequence in Birds of Prey where she is doing the Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend number from Gentlemen Who Prefer Blondes. So definitely not the first person who's been like, we got a little bit of a Marilyn Monroe here. But yeah.
Or the closest anyone can get, I guess. It's tough to fill those shoes, but hey, if we got one, I guess it's I'm not too disappointed with Margot Robbie ever. Yeah, I love all of her movies. So
she's the shit.
Yeah.
She is the shit. But cool. Got Barbie at 55. My 55 is a film called Dee Dee. Came out this most recent year, and it's directed by a man named Sean Wong. This is a really, really affecting coming-of-age story. It's a little bit of that mid-2000s nostalgia. It's set around 2007, 2008, so like he's a little older than we are, but it's still a time period that we can recall pretty avidly, It's just so grating to watch sometimes in like the best way possible, because it's just a kid making the mistakes that kids make that we've all made, and every single time he does, you're like, no, you fucking idiot, don't fucking do that. And then he does it and you're like, yeah, of course you were gonna do that. We all fucking did it. Like that sort of thing. It's and it's really, really good for that. And then there's also a much more culturally specific significance as well. He lives with his mom, who is only is something of a single mom. Not truly, but she possesses the spirit of a single mom because the dad's always gone. He's never home. He's working hard, trying to put food on the table, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The dad's never even in the movie, but he's supposedly in the picture.
Okay.
Yeah, and she delivers what I think should be a supporting actress nom of a performance there by Joan Chen. She does an incredible job. And I'm a huge Joan Chen fan because she was in Twin Peaks, and I love Twin Peaks. But yeah, no, it's a sweet movie. It made me cry. This is another one in that 4.5s that I think could be 5s if I watched it again. However, I'm much fresher off this than I am either of the others, so I'm much more confident in its placement. You know, like I'm like, this is around this for sure. I'd need to rewatch to tell you for sure on a few of the others I've had, but yeah, no, I loved Dee Dee. It's really, really good, and I think that it's worth anybody's time. So yeah.
We love to learn the hard way. I feel like us humans, but you just don't know until you know. You know, he does every time that you had that reaction of like, dude, come on, or like, don't do this. It's because we went through the thing. You know, we did it, and I don't know, we probably have learned the hard way, but I don't know. It's I do love that feeling in a movie of like everything's just going wrong, but it's like it's okay. I don't know. It's still
and there's that constant reassurance that like, and it emphasizes the importance of a parent and a parent's reaction to those things. You know, like it just sort of can make or break that situation. You know, like if you have a really supportive household, it'll be okay. If you don't, things could be a little bit more of a problem, you know, and that's just kind of how the movie plays out. And, it's complicated, but it's good and it's fun and it's cute and it's sad and it's all these things that I think really, really captures the essence of what it feels like to be, I don't know, 13, 14, you know?
Oh yeah. Perfect. Yeah. I like, I don't know, kind of a family dynamic. This the next one that I got coming up is not the best family. No, that's for sure.
Gotcha.
And this is, I guess at first you don't know, but you figure out quite quickly. This is Trap. We're at Trap 2024. Good old M. Night Shyamalan. Not the best father here, that's for sure.
Yeah, Josh Hartnett, Cooper Trap. That's what he's typically regarded as.
This well, I mean, kind of just this was just very cool. I don't know, a new age movie. You know, I feel like this. I guess concerts have always been a thing, but I don't know why this feels just kind of like a in this era kind of a movie. Everyone's just on their phones, like not actually paying attention. I feel like that's like part of it a little bit, but really it is just like an elusive killer. I don't know, like they're just setting up to trap this
dude. The cat
dude,
and mouse is fucking awesome, dude. I love Trap.
Yeah, and shot really well too. Like I in one location pretty much the whole time, but still made it interesting and like and I just love, I don't know, the way he is, like everything was, there was never like, I always thought it was going to be like, oh wow, really, like this is how he's or like usually in these kind of movies it's like, okay, that's fucking lucky, or like what, I don't know, but this just felt like we were just along for the ride. The camera was just on him and we're just seeing how this crazy dude operates, and I loved his, I don't know, the his just pure psychopath performance. Like, I mean, he could just enter human mode a little bit, but then like, I don't know, whenever he was fully unhinged at the end, and just those faces, the close-ups of his grin, and just kind of, I don't know, I thought it was a lot better than I was expecting before jumping into it. The trailer made me think it was gonna be like, I don't know, like this is M. Night Shyamalan? Like, I don't know. It's kind of like, it felt like a little, I don't know, like it wasn't quite that tier of a movie, but then I watched
fascinating.
It.
That's fascinating because I watched the trailer and was like, this movie is going to be the fucking best. I like it more than you, apparently, because it's on my list and we will get to it, and it won't be this week.
Okay.
But I love me some Trap, so I will certainly be getting around to that sooner than later, to be sure, but still to come. But all right. Cool. My 54 is a deeply sad movie, or a deeply moving movie. Not deeply sad strictly. There's sad parts. Okay. It's called His Three Daughters, directed by Azazel Jacobs. Natasha Lyonne, Elizabeth Olsen, Carrie Coon. It's a I mean, just incredible viewing. You know, you spoke to the single location sort of film. This takes place in pretty much one apartment the whole time. We go outside the apartment building a little bit, but beyond that, we're staying here. The premise is that Natasha Lyonne's character has been taking care of the sister's ailing father. And she's, she's been struggling. She's been having a tough time, but he's on his last leg. You know, they're putting him in hospice care essentially, but in-home hospice. They have their own nurses that come by every once in a while and check on him and take care of him, and they take care of him too. It's just kind of like all three of them are going to be here until he passes away.
Man.
And they don't have the greatest relationship, you know. Natasha Lyonne is their half-sister. If I recall correctly, she's their half-sister. She might be adopted. I can't remember one way or another, but she feels like an other because of that. She feels like an outsider. They make her feel like an outsider a little bit, and it's kind of them trying to reconcile that gap in their relationship a little. And it's good, man. It's gorgeous to look at. It's really, really moving. And Carrie Coon and Natasha Lyonne deliver performances that I think are just unbelievable. Elizabeth Olsen, rare that this is the case, but she's definitely third fiddle, you know.
Wow.
Which doesn't happen a lot for Elizabeth Olsen, but it does here. And but she does. That's kind of the character she's playing, though. It's not like she's not as good or anything. She's perfect in her role, and her role just happens to be the obvious odd man out in terms of she's the actual outsider. It feels like to me. I don't know. But they're all dealing with their own stuff in their own lives, and then they come together and they all bring their shit with them, and it's just really human. It's really human, and it made me cry a lot. So His Three Daughters is really good. I've got it at 54. This is another one. I've got a lot of these in that 4.5. If I rewatched, could be 5 tier.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I have that. That's my least amount, or like I have a dip in 4.5. I have a lot of 4s and a lot of 5s, and then I don't give 4.5 a lot. I think I make that jump quite easily to a 5 for me but
yeah, I don't have a ton of 4.5s either, which is why it's like most of them are like, this could probably be a 5. Like I don't really know what's holding me back from it being a 5 when I give something a 4.5. I'm actually doing away with my ratings except for the 5 on Letterboxd. Like I'm actually legitimately going through my entire backlog and unrating films.
Wow.
Which is, I mean, it's taking forever. It's been days and I'm through a few of the star ratings. I think I've only got 3.5 and above left now. And I didn't have like the amount I had from half star to 3 star is probably the same amount as I have 4 stars. So like it's going to take forever, but I'll get there. I will get there.
Man, well, that's dedication right there. Yeah, I gotta start. I've kind of been doing the same. I've been, I don't know, finally putting reviews for every movie that I watch, you know, so I do have the thoughts of the watch. I think that is important.
That's definitely that's become for me the most important part of Letterboxd. You know, I'm like, I want to know how I felt instantly upon completing it, and it's a good benchmark. It allows you to put all your thoughts down so that I mean, the movie sticks with you better if you think about it a little harder and write something about it immediately after, you know?
Oh yeah,
I found that all the movies I watched in 2024, I wrote a review for every single one. I remember almost every single one. You know what I'm saying? And I watched a lot of fucking movies, and that's crazy. So yeah, I think the review function on Letterboxd is definitely where I'm going to start putting my focus instead of the rating.
Yeah, and I got to start using the like. I don't know. I used to just like every movie. I mean, there's not a chance that the movie's not going to get liked. Like, I don't know. It feels like it was a guarantee. But now maybe I gotta rethink that, if that's like a, I don't know. I don't know what it could represent. It is just kind of on.
No,
or off,
it's like so if you like it or if you don't like it, you know. And that's the thing, is that I'm easy. I'm an easy get. I like if I spent my time watching it and I finished it, there's a really good chance I didn't dislike it. You know.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I'm probably not going to set out to watch a movie that I don't like. I don't know.
that
like
I
it,
don't
like
think
it,
I will like. I
Yeah.
like that's why like I have such a high letterboxed curve, and why I like so much shit is because I only watch movies. Not only watch movies, but I watch movies that I think I'm going to enjoy. I don't go out of my way to watch shitters, you know?
Yeah.
Not regularly. Sometimes that's
You know,
fun, but
maybe I should. Yeah, maybe I did say that I was gonna like movies that are so bad that could actually be good. It's so
yeah, it
it's
could be fun
self-aware
because
bad.
they're so bad. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think I actually like when something's trying to be good and is good. That's like
That's the best.
That's
That's
nice.
the best. But yeah,
but
all right,
okay.
cool. 53 for you then?
Was that? Yes, it is 53. Moving on. Ooh, okay, yes. These are good. These I don't know. This one was very, very fun. I didn't quite have the build up to it that I wanted. I wanted to get every movie in the franchise done before, but I couldn't. But I got the necessary watches done. This is where I have Alien Romulus for me. And man, I don't know. I did. This is one where the trailer I saw and I was very excited for. This one was like I was like ooh, like I could just immediately tell that like the sets that they were I don't know that they had
yeah.
these were real sets that they were filming. And an interesting thing of my watch, I didn't get this one in the theater, so I did watch it at home, and it was on streaming. And the streaming version, they changed like a couple of the effects. And the what's his name? The synthetic from the first movie that
played
carries
by
on
Ian
into
Holm
here.
in the
Yeah.
original.
And they changed him like crazy in the
Yeah, I
streaming
saw that
version
recently,
versus
yeah.
and I couldn't believe like it looks so much better in the Blu-ray or like just the original version, and I don't know why they like it looks so much worse in my opinion in the streaming
I'm not
version.
going to lie to
like,
you. I saw the side by side and I couldn't tell you which was supposed to be good.
Yeah, that's true. They weren't really good to begin with, and that was
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of the only part of the movie that I was kind of like, oosh, that
Me
doesn't
too,
like
man.
you're-
I have such a
like-
great time with that movie, and that's like it's like such a sore thumb, like because it's
Yeah.
not only is it just completely it's completely unnecessary. Like
Yeah.
it would have been so much better if that role was played by a real person, but David Johnson's right there, and you're playing with the whole dichotomy of his being. Why not have like a devil on his shoulder that's literally him? I don't know.
I don't. And it's like they make a whole point of making real sets and like real like they want it to be real.
It
and
feels
then they go
so
ahead and do that.
counterintuitive to everything
Yeah.
else they did on a creatively and aesthetic level. Because
Yeah.
I mean, it is a gorgeous movie, and it's really, really beautiful to look at, and I think it's super well performed. It did miss my top 100, but I do want to give it some credit because I did have a great time watching it. I took Emily to go see it. We watched Alien and Aliens in the 2 days before, and then we went and saw it on that third day. And she was taken by it. She loved her favorites. Her favorite was Aliens, if I recall correctly. But she was gripped by all three of them. Yeah, Alien, man, that's special.
I think it is
love
still
that
my
movie.
favorite. Yeah, I think if I had to choose one, it is probably. I mean, it's the two originals that are 1 and 2. I don't know. They could maybe go back and forth, but it's probably got to be Aliens to be number 1. But this
No,
is number
mine's
3.
Alien.
I guess
Mine's
right
the
now.
original. Mine is the
Ooh.
first one. I
Okay.
and confidently, emphatically, the
Okay.
first one.
Yeah. Okay. I like, and I did think, and I feel like I talked a lot of smack or the things I didn't like about Romulus instead of, but no, like I have a lot of good, like Haley Spaney and David Johnson. Like I thought Andy's character and like their relationship was really creative and like really drove a lot of the movie, and like him just getting his upgrade and like having like that debate of like taking it out and is that Andy, is it not, and like if and then that he couldn't go to the planet that was the final destination. Just synthetics were not allowed, and he didn't. When that was learned, I was like, oh my god, like it was I thought really, really cool, and I think they did pay homage to the older movies pretty well, like and a good like refresh on like what they probably wanted to do back then. Like whenever all of the like egg sacs or like that they kept frozen, you know, or whatever, started to melt, and then all of them were just crawling around, jumping. And, oh man, I don't know. Yeah, it
gnarly.
was
The anti-gravity shit. Yeah, no, gnarly.
Ooh,
There's a lot of really, really fun stuff in that movie, man. And I mean, it's going to keep the Alien franchise alive, which I appreciate. You know, unfortunately, Ridley Scott's actually genuinely great movies didn't do commercially well. So they went back on a little bit more of a Force Awakens of the Alien franchise, you know, where it's kind of like, let's recreate the aesthetics of the originals and kind of give the people something to latch on to a little bit. Which, you know, no beef. I love the Force Awakens. It's not like I think that's a, you know, creatively bankrupt thing to do. It happens, but it's a gorgeous movie, man. I think that it was shot just so prettily. I think that David Johnson is the highlight for me. Andy is one of the most compelling characters in the entire franchise. Definitely. You still got a few to work through, if I remember correctly, right? You got the 3, 4, and then the couple prequels.
Yes. Yeah, I need to watch all of them. Yeah, I know.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, there's a lot to like in that franchise. Definitely one of my favorites, just because it's so all over the place. There's such a distinguished vision for all of them in their own way, which is bizarre. But yeah, I dig it. I dig Alien Romulus. But all right, so that's 53.
Yep, 53.
All right, my 53 is just another 4.5 that could be if I revisited. I saw it in theaters, haven't seen it since. One of the ones that I really wanted to get around to, and you actually got around to it for the first time recently and loved it. This is where I have The Northman, directed by Robert Eggers. Gorgeous movie. And frankly, just remember that, really. And that's why I haven't, that's why I don't have it much higher. I just remember that it's really pretty to look at. I remember that it is Viking gladiator, essentially. Revenge story. Guy goes on a long journey, comes home and takes his revenge. It's badass. It looks fucking incredible. The ride into Valhalla at the end is fucking pimp. Anya Taylor-Joy is wonderful. Ethan Hawke, even though he's brief, is really good. Willem Dafoe's an absolute freak. Nicole Kidman, again, wonderful. Another good example of how she makes just really, really interesting, compelling choices. Yeah, no, I dig it. And Alexander Skarsgård, he's real good, man. I'm a big fan of his, and I hope to see him succeed a little bit more. Him and Bill, him and his brother, they've had an interesting run of things. Bill had a specifically interesting year because he was Count Orlok in Nosferatu.
Yeah, that's
his whole fucking thing he's got going on, and that's crazy. But yeah, no, I dig this one, and I wish I'd gotten a rewatch in. But this is one of those ones that I'm not absolutely heartbroken I didn't make it back around to. I do like it a lot, though, and I look forward to watching it again eventually.
I mean, I do have it quite a lot higher. Or I mean, I did love it, but the thing is that it is probably a one and done movie. I mean, you know, or maybe just like it might be like a year before I watch it again. Like I don't feel like I need to.
It's not one you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna rewatch that ASAP. Yeah, no, I'm with you. You know, like, I saw it in theaters and I was moved. I was blown away. Like I thought it was so good looking. I thought it was gorgeous. I thought it was incredible. And I just haven't seen it since. And that's that. So yeah, I got it at 53 and I feel good about it there.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna stick with Anya Taylor-Joy here for a little bit. And moving on to another spotlight one for her that we did, and one that was a little more fun in my opinion that I liked. This is where I have The Menu, good old with Ralph Fiennes and Nicholas Hoult. This man, I don't know, this one was just very unique. The story set up here, you know, kind of thriller horror. I don't know what else you throw in there. But it didn't seem like that at the beginning of the movie. I don't know. It seemed very tame at the beginning.
Right.
It just, yeah. And then just, whenever everything just flips and goes crazy.
Slowly unfolds before you. Yeah.
And I don't know, I love this vein of movie. I love the psychological kind of more. And you know, there was some gore and I guess some killings and stuff, but that really wasn't what it was focused on. I don't know. I think it was more of just like the spectacle and like the at each meal and the claps, you know. I don't know. Just it had its own flavor for everything. I don't know. And I thought it was just really fun. And then just the purpose of why everyone was in there, having them figure it out, you know, like trying to figure out the common
The
thread
slow
of them
unwrapping of it
all.
all is really, really satisfying for sure.
And and man, I mean, some people at the end accepted. They were like, "Yes, I will burn alive and be okay with it." Like I don't like it was just a crazy ride of a movie. And yeah, I
that
don't
is
know. It
wild.
just I you know, and this is one where I was like, man, like I have this, like even within the spotlight, I have Emma below this, and I was like, I don't know, like I feel like Emma's a better made movie, but I just like the menu more. Like, and that's what I had to remember is like it's just, you know, what is a top 100? It's not like
Yeah.
the best made, you know, and that's the only thing that matters. There's got to be
No, the amount of
some
fun
just
you have
yeah.
with it definitely matters. Definitely
Yeah.
matters. I don't have the menu in my top 100, but I do have Emma, and Emma isn't in this episode. So just give you a little frame
Yeah.
of reference for me there. But yeah, no, the menu is a great time, man. It's a ton of fun. I think that it was, you know, Ray Fiennes is incredible. I think that he is such an incredible actor, and Mark Mylod really showed his chops as a film director. I'd never watched any of his features. I'd only ever seen him direct TV. He directed some Game of Thrones, and that was my only prior knowledge of Mark Mylod. So I was really impressed with this. Nicholas Hoult is always so fucking good. I love Hong Shao. I think she's incredible. Yeah, there's I mean, John Leguizamo being the like actor who, you know, wasted his time that one evening with his day off
Yeah.
and all that. Like that's the only reason he's there. Incredible stuff. Yeah, no, man, I dig the menu a great deal, but I like it. I like it. My 52. This is one I know you'll have, and it's the only one. Correction, it is not the only one that I've seen twice. I've seen another one twice here, but it'll be the 50 spot. My 52, and this is tough. I don't know. Like now this is when I'm really, really starting to get like, oh no, I'm putting this above this. You know, like that's this. I think this is the spot where that starts.
Okay.
52 is where I have Tenet, directed by
Ooh.
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
This movie rips, man. I like it a great deal. I think that it's a lot, you know, it's a lot, and I've only watched it twice, and I watched it twice within 2 weeks. So like both watches were a while back. I've been desperately wanting to revisit it. I think that John David Washington does a great job in the lead. Robert Pattinson, though, is the highlight for me. Elizabeth Debicki's incredible. Kenneth Branagh is a great villain, and I think that Chris Nolan just let fucking loose. He had a great time making this movie, man, and you can tell. Incredible
Man
premise.
loves his time.
Oh, he
Yeah.
does. He does. Incredible premise, incredible execution on that premise. And it's a good looking movie, man. Like, I've got the 4K of it, and it is just a sight to behold, man. Chris Nolan makes movies for that. Like, it's really, really impressive. I've got The Dark Knight, this, and Oppenheimer on 4K, and you can just tell that's like, he cares about the 4K, version, like the versions of his movies that he's going to be putting in homes. You know, he cares about that thing, because it looks amazing. But yeah, love me some Tenet. Yeah, I got it at 52.
Chris Nolan just has this thing. I don't know where his movies only get better over time with me,
Right.
and it's just it. And man, this is one that at first I didn't like. I was like, "Yo, dude, you're kind of going a little off the rails," you know. I don't know. Maybe I just don't think I quite got it the first time. But then no, I got much love for Tenet, and yeah, it'll be a lot later.
Love that.
But yeah, I love me some Nolan. Man, yeah, that's one I need to rewatch just because I don't know. Just because I know I love it. And it just only gets better. But okay. Good Tenet. In this one, you actually brought up crazy. My 51. Did a little voice line from the movie. A Skarsgård connection here. This is where I have Nosferatu.
Nosferatu, yeah.
Or Nosferatu. Yeah, I can never remember the name. I can never say it right. I can never even spell it right when I try to type it out. I think it'll be an eternal word. Definitely. I can never type. Anyway, but yes, thank you. But a Skarsgård performance that, whoa, yeah, I mean, it just incredible. I don't know what a thing. Come out and
insane.
And definitely, a theater viewing that was like people, I don't know, we were all watching that together, and it was weird because at first I feel like it was like, I'm like, what am I watching? I'm like, what is actually going on? But then at some point I'm like, wait a minute, I'm actually kind of enjoying it. I'm like, this is actually kind of good,
dude.
And then like
go ahead, sorry.
No, I don't know. I need, because I'm still forming thoughts, I feel like, about
No,
this
I know.
movie.
We are weeks removed, man. Like, we saw this the day after Christmas, and I can't lie to you. If we had started recording this a week later, Nosferatu would be on my top 100.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that fucking movie. I text you the next day and was like, I don't know, man. We walked out of the theater kind of like, what the fuck? Okay, because we saw it in the we saw a complete un-Nosferatu. We did that. We did that double feature.
That's right. Yes.
And we did it with a complete unknown, and my gut that day was that I liked a complete unknown more, and
no.
I don't think I do. I don't think I do, and that's crazy because I had a complete unknown last fucking episode, just to give you a frame of reference there.
Yeah.
And you brought up the Robert Eggers connection since I talked about the Northman. I don't know what it is about Nosferatu, but it stuck with me. I think it is a beautiful looking movie. I think I get what it was doing now more than I did fresh out of the theater. I don't know. There's something to be said for a filmmaker making something that just latches onto you. I haven't been able to really not think about it, which is bizarre. Every time somebody talks about it online, I'm like, yeah, no, I love that movie. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it was so bizarre on first viewing to kind of grapple with my feelings on it. But this is one that if I could rectify it, I would. Nosferatu would be in my top 100 if we'd started it a little later than we did.
Yeah, it's good. I don't know, and it was beautiful. It's freaky. And I think it's in this vein. There's Dracula. I don't know. It's like there's supernatural. It's the occult. It should be freaky, and it was that in every sense. And Willem Dafoe, I don't know. I think this dude,
Willem Dafoe,
he might just be the GOAT. I don't know.
He might be.
He might, or like my GOAT. I don't know. He's just, this dude is. I love how everyone else just seems to love him in the game too. Like every actor is like, they just want to hang out with Willem Dafoe.
They get Willem Dafoe, man, and how could you not? He's fucking legendary. I do. I love the guy, and I think that he's an incredible actor. He brought that movie to life for me when I was in the theater. He was one of the I had a tough time grappling with my feelings, and you know what? I might fuck around, and we're gonna wrap up here soon. I might catch this today. I might go ahead and say fuck it. Go ahead and find it, because I do need to rewatch it. I need to rewatch it bad, and I think there's a lot to like here, and I don't think I gave my full appreciation to it the first time that we saw it. So I'm glad you had it, because I did want to talk about it. But yeah, cool. Yeah. I love it. I love it. 51, man. First one outside the top 50. That's tough. That's tough, but I feel confident in mine. This is where I have Sometimes I Think About Dying, directed by Rachel Lambert. Sorry about that. Daisy Ridley starred in this movie. It's a really, really soft, slow, not in your face, and poignant depiction of melancholy, I think. You know, just sort of living day-to-day life, letting it pass you by a little bit. And, you know, it's not as exciting as your, as a typical movie because it doesn't feel as unreal. You know, it doesn't feel like as far of a leap. Daisy Ridley leads a life, and all the characters in this movie lead a life that is pretty much the same life everybody else lives. You know, like there's little drama that doesn't feel like, oh, this would never happen to me. You know, this very feasible. You know, anybody with a job, if you work a fucking job, you know, like it's just if you this is gonna happen to you. Not gonna happen to you, but it could happen to you. You know, and Daisy Ridley is incredible, dude. She is just made for the screen, and this is one of my 50s. I've mentioned all these ones that I've only watched once. This is the one I'm the most upset to only have watched once. I really, really wish I would have rewatched this because this is another one of those that if I had rewatched it, I have no doubt it would be higher. I think looking at it, I've probably watched literally every movie above it more recently. Except for one, maybe. But, yeah, like it's so good and it's moving and it's gorgeous, man. It's a good looking movie and Daisy Ridley, again, just perfect. I love her. So Sometimes I Think About Dying is an incredible film and, it's the last one outside the top 50. But, before we get to that last spot, before we breach that top 50, I want to go ahead and do a plug for our giveaway. We are giving away a Criterion Blu-ray copy of both Certain Women and Paris is Burning, a couple of fantastic movies. One of the greatest documentary films ever made, and Paris is Burning. And Certain Women, pacing-wise, has a similar thing going on as Sometimes I Think About Dying. Maybe a little bit of a sister film there that I hadn't really considered. But definitely worth everybody's time, both of those, and no better way to spend your time than popping it in the Blu-ray player and watching a disc you got for free. You know what I'm saying? You can also potentially win a Letterboxd patron status membership, which would be hella cool because me and Joe both have it. We both love it. You would automatically get a follow and friend here out of me. So, you know, at least there's that. Yeah, so we got those three things on the giveaway. You can win all three. We want to have three different winners. We want to have that sort of variety, but you could win all three. And here's how. You must subscribe to our YouTube, The Cinementalists. You must download one episode. Wherever you listen, you must download an episode. And if you don't have a means to download an episode, hit me up. I can make it happen. I can send you a direct download link. Very, very possible. The best way to contact me socially is Blue Sky. Follow me at Colton Robertson. There's a whole graphic on my pinned post that explains all the rules of the giveaway at Colton Robertson on Blue Sky. Those are the two priority things you have to do. You should send me proof also on Blue Sky. Now, there are caveats. You can add a little bit. You can add a little oomph for yourself if you want, which is pretty simple. You can like and repost the post on Blue Sky. That'll get you an additional entry. You can respond to the post on Blue Sky by tagging somebody. That'll get you an additional entry. And then the big one is every episode you download is an additional entry. And we've got almost 40 episodes. So you can get almost 40 entries in this motherfucker. And that is how you could win all three, is if you do that shit right there. So, hit me up on Blue Sky. Do that for me. And you have the chance to win our giveaway at Colton Robertson on Blue Sky. Check it out. Thank you very much. But yeah, let's do 50. What's the top? What is the top of your list here?
Ooh, actually, it is the movie that I've kind of rewatched the most recently. I only got a little bit through it. The sleep schedule has been very whack, and I couldn't I don't know, stay awake for a whole movie for the last couple days. It was just a tough thing, but I did get through a little bit of it, and maybe I might have inflated this movie a little bit, but who knows? The end might save it. I don't know. But this is where I have the Eternals, actually, and this is, yeah, I feel like one of the most underrated Marvel movies that there is, and for some reason they think this was bad or flop or the wrong direction to go. No, this is the direction they needed to continue going. I don't know. This was just I feel like a wild swing that they took, and like just from everything else that they were doing. And I thought that this just worked so well, like just the different time periods to go through, and I think that's what I've come to realize is that I'm in love with more of the idea of this movie and like what, just how different it is. But I only did get through like the first hour, I think, of the movie. So it's like it was just the setup before it like actually gets good and going. But then I was like, I had it at 50. And like now I'm thinking of like Alien Romulus, Trap, and these movies that I do have below it, and it does feel a little weird. But no,
I get you. I get you.
I feel like I'm an Eternals truther till the end of my days. I'll never not love this movie.
I agree, man. I think that it is. I think it's massively overhated by any measure. Like by any metric, the amount of shit that movie got. Unbelievable, dude. Like just ridiculous. Chloe Zhao did an incredible job in the director's chair. I think she brought a vision to the big screen that I don't think a lot of directors have had the privilege to. And that's the thing that's something you can give credit to Phase 4 of Marvel 4 is that there's a little bit more variety in that regard. I think the vision isn't so singular. It's not obviously just the Russos doing everything, basically. And I think that Zhao did an incredible job. I think Richard Madden's really great. Salma Hayek is obviously wonderful. Gemma Chan, Angelina Jolie,
in the MCU,
yeah, Brian Tyree Henry. It's an incredible
Kit Harington.
cast. Yeah,
I mean, it's like, they're just everywhere, and that's why I'm like, man, like this. It feels like this is a treat that we've been given. It's like here, like look at Angelina Jolie as literally the goddess of war. Like, here you go, and just I don't know, having the like Druig storyline of taking just a bunch of people and being like, dude,
I can. Insane. It's massive. The problem that this movie has is that it wasn't earlier in the MCU. And what I mean by that is that if it was earlier in the MCU, this movie would have been 3 movies. It's overstuffed like crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's my only beef with it is that there's too much of it. I think that there's a couple stories that all happen side by side that don't need to happen side by side. I think that, spoilers for Eternals, if Richard Madden breaks bad after several movies and was evil the whole time, man, does that hit a hell of a lot harder than it does in this movie alone. You just get a little more time to explore all these characters and all their individualism and all their community. It's just there's so much movie here, and I think it suffers for that.
Yeah, the deviant storyline of it becoming conscious eventually and talking to them, and then you have like Hiroshima.
That should probably be its own movie. Yeah. It's a lot.
Would have been cool. Yeah, that like a 3 movie down the line to actually realize Tiamat is in the planet and like that what the convergence is. If that maybe wasn't revealed like
that's like a big payoff to the franchise, essentially to a trilogy instead of one movie. I think it would hit a lot harder and would frankly, just give the movie a chance to breathe. It's a big story. It deserves a little bit more of a chance to breathe, I think. So it's just a lot. And but I agree. I think it's massively overhated. I think it's a really, really strong entry into the MCU. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Just maybe not quite a top 50 movie of the 2020s is the only thing that my hesitation. I do love it, and like as far as me and my enjoyment out of it, I'm still liking the movie.
We're in
and,
a
like,
similar
like,
spot.
Even the first hour that I watched, I did enjoy, but it was just kind of like it wasn't as visually incredible. Like I thought that it just looked really, really good the whole time, and they do have some really nice.
Well,
some
I think
shots
it's
every now
important
and
to
then,
emphasize that it looks good relatively to its companion
Yes.
pieces. It
That's
looks
true.
really, really good compared to other MCU movies. Which I
Definitely.
think at the time of watching it in 2021 is most of our frame of reference. So
That's true. Yeah. Yes. By far. Yeah. So this was almost cinema, like the best it could get.
this
for
was
me
this
at
was
one
peak.
point.
Yeah, no, it was. But no, I'm with you. I think that on my 50, I'm in a similar boat. I've got a franchise film in my 50 that you know, not viewed as the best of the franchise. You know, I've got a few in this episode that I'm sure people like. I had Avatar 2 earlier. That's lower than this, and I know that's going to make somebody go, "What the fuck, man?" But I can't help it. I like what I like, and I love Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, baby. That's what I've got in my top 50. Tom Cruise, baby. Tom fucking Cruise. I've become a Tom Cruise guy in the wake of the Mission Impossible franchise. Ethan Hunt is the best, one of my favorite characters ever. And this movie's just badass, man. There's no movie with a better looking cast, just unbelievably hot people all over this thing. Rebecca Ferguson, Haley Atwell, Pom Clementif, Vanessa Kirby, Tom Cruise. There's a lot of really, really good looking people getting to do some really, really badass things, and that's fun. That's good stuff. Got an artificially intelligent entity as sort of the main villain that we're going up against in these last two movies, and that's super fucking awesome. I love that, especially from a creative direction, kind of going, you know, like the last movie star is against what's coming, you know, sort of. I think that, like, in a meta sense, it's really badass. And I think that like I said, I was never a Tom Cruise guy. I watched the Mission Impossible movies, and now I firmly am. There's just something special about these movies, and there's such a sentiment and such a love for family and friends that these movies have that you just like would never anticipate. You think it's just all action, macho, badass shit, and it's a lot of that. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of that. But there's a heart to it that I think a lot of franchises could benefit from. So my 50, breaking the top 50 here, is Mission Impossible 7.
Man. And I think Tom Cruise, he kind of like, you have certain actors where like you look at them and you're like, oh, that is just the actor. That is just the human being that I know in real life, the celebrity. But Tom Cruise, you know that that's Tom Cruise, but it still doesn't matter. Like, it's like,
there's an
I feel like-
elevated energy about him that is like, he's the closest thing in movie stardom that we have to, he's like one of the only movie stars left that we can like comfortably deify. You know, like he seems larger than life in every capacity. He doesn't seem real. And that's bizarre, you know, like, and I don't mean that as like a hero worship, celebrity worship sort of thing. It's just that he's been so big for so long. Like, the only other movie star that I think anybody off the top of their head can go, oh yeah, wow, they're really, really big. They're great. Leonardo DiCaprio, right?
Yep. Yeah,
Leo has been working since the late 90s, early 90s, but late 90s in a leading capacity. Tom Cruise revived his career in the late 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's been working since the early 80s. So like, I don't even know how to reconcile the fact that he has been famous and one of the best and biggest actors working since my dad was a child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, that's just one of those things where I can't even, like, The Outsiders came out when my dad was 6.
Damn.
Risky Business
my
came out when my dad was 6. You know, Top Gun came out when my dad was 9. Like, that's 8, about to turn 9. Like, that's crazy.
Jeez.
You know, the dude's just been so famous for so long that he feels like he's reached a different level of notoriety, in a way that, like, I don't think will ever be achievable by an actor again. And that makes me want to appreciate him while he's making movies. And that's why the Mission Impossible movies are special to me. It's part of it anyway. And he just clearly has such a love for the craft, a clear understanding of what's supposed to go on the big screen. And so Ethan Hunt, Mission Impossible, those movies are the shit, and Mission Impossible 7 has to be top 50 for me. Just principally had to be top 50. So, let's go ahead and rattle these bad boys off. 50 to 59. What do you got for me?
All right, I'm going to fuck up the word again at 51, but I'll try. 50, Eternals. 51,
Nosferatu. There you go.
Let's go. I think I did it. Okay, wow. Might have been the first time in my life.
Yes, you did.
But
You nailed
moving.
it. Nailed that like a split hog.
Yeah. 52, The Menu. 53, Alien Romulus. 54, Trap. 55, Barbie. 56, Creed 3. 57, House of Gucci. 58, May December. And 59, Emma.
Love it. I've got 50, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. 51, Sometimes I Think About Dying. 52, Tenet. 53, The Northman. 54, His Three Daughters. 55, Dee Dee. 56, Another Round. 57, Avatar Way of the Water. 58, American Fiction. And 59, Baby Girl. So, if you would, head to Blue Sky. Follow me at Colton Robertson to get more information on that giveaway and on anything we are going to be doing. We've got movies right around the corner, baby. We are finishing up this project within the next couple weeks, and we'll be back to covering movies on a week-to-week basis. I cannot wait. And you'll get every update on the giveaway and everything over there, so you should be there. This isn't the last part we're releasing today. You should check out part 6, the 40s, as well. We breach the top 50, and we give you the top of that list there as well. So go ahead and check out part 6. We'll be back next week with 7 and 8, and the week after with the top 20. And I cannot wait for you to hear that. Let's see. We are a few weeks from February, where we'll be celebrating Black History Month a little bit. We're gonna do a Jordan Peele movie with Nope on the first Friday of February. We're gonna do If Beale Street Could Talk on Valentine's Day. We're gonna do Alma's Rainbow, a little bit of a blind spot for both of us the week after that, and we're gonna cap the month off with Sorry to Bother You. So quite the variety of movies, but that's what we've got around the corner. So you got to be looking forward to that. Let's see. Fulcrum, a Star Wars podcast, continued this week and concluded its coverage of Skeleton Crew. So you got to check that out. I think that's everything we've got going on right now. So, yeah, go ahead and leave a 5-star rate and review and download wherever you might be listening. I'd appreciate it greatly. And with that, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And hey, we had a lot of her this episode, so why don't you just go ahead and watch yourself an Anya Taylor-Joy movie? I don't know. There was like 4 of those this week, this episode. Go ahead and check it out.